they be voted one at a time, which I think is a great idea. And they hope to put it into, not into the budget, but present it as actual bills on the floor.
Yes, that's correct.
What's the time frame for that?
Well, they aren't going, it probably won't happen until after November would be my guess. But you'll start seeing some things coming through as the, I think after the election and they start getting back to work, you'll see a few things. And this is actually something, too, that we heard the exact same thing when I went to to Madison to hear the report from the commission. It was almost identical to what Tyler told us about. So I'm feeling pretty confident that it's good information. So,
Okay. Is there any other questions on this? Then moving on, we need to have a motion to approve the certification of the 2018-2019 school tax levy, district levy. Paperwork is in front of you. Is there anything special?
actually, John is going to take this for the levy.
Sure. The final numbers for the levy came out late Monday, so I was able to calculate the levy for this meeting. A couple things changed since the annual meeting. We did have a fairly substantial increase in the estimate for state aid, nearly $200,000. We also had some growth in the student voucher program that we estimated what we had last year, which was around $180,000. That's up to nearly $260,000 we'll be taxing and then paying out for the student voucher program. We were able to add $9,752 as an additional one-year revenue limit exemption for uncounted open enrollment students. That would be open enrollment students that came in, or residents that came into our district that left our district after the September count last year. So there were a couple of those. And overall, our levy will decrease from the annual meeting by $236,555.50. A second part of that is a $74,000 decrease in the referendum debt levy. One thing that happened when we were refinancing our original bond anticipation note with the bond itself is for a period of a strong month, we held the money for both of those in an account that earned interest, and rightfully we need to return that back as the first payments to the debt, so we don't have for the first year to tax our taxpayers for that $75,000 we earned by holding two large debt issues open. So we reduced our Fund 39 levy by about that much, and so our overall levy, it would be suggested to be $12,167,983.50, which is a decrease of about 2% from what we anticipated at the annual meeting. The overall increase in levy, mostly because of the referendum borrowing, is now 7.65%. At the annual meeting, that was 9.75%. And another thing that happened was that much of our district was evaluated in terms of property values during the course of the last year. Overall, Sheboygan County's up around 6%, and our school district's up 5.28%, which makes the denominator on our mill rate that much larger. So instead of having a mill rate of $8.93 that we anticipated at the annual meeting, it's down to $8.32, which is frankly only 19 cents higher than last year. So we're going to have a very easy time, especially, we still haven't borrowed all the money. We still have $10 million to borrow next year. But we'll have a very easy time staying, at least in terms of the mill rate, under $1 when we meet our overall borrowing budget.
Nice.
That's good stuff.
That was very good.
As far as the bottom line on our budget,
Bottom line in our budget, well, we can go to that next. It improves slightly. Frankly, our revenue limit hasn't grown. I mean, you get more state aid, so you get less taxes. So our overall revenue limit only grew by that $97.52 for that one-year exemption. So there were a couple of other adjustments we had with open enrollment students that, when I reported to you on, I think last week, we had not yet, they were still counting them as attending, and lo and behold, at the end of last week, they weren't. That was one of our neighboring districts who was really late doing their student count. And so we were able to knock off 3 open enrollment students that way. So that expense went down a little bit. And there were a couple other minor adjustments, so our overall deficit is now, I think, $102,000 to $103,000 in general operating, which is down like $30,000 from last year.
Okay. So we needed a motion.
To approve the certification.
I move that we approve the school district tax levy as certified here.
I second that.
Is there any more discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. We need to consider a resolution authorizing a taxable tax revenue anticipation of a promissory note for cash flow purposes in the amount not to exceed, I believe that's type error, that's $2 million, not $2,000. So
Yeah.
not to exceed promissory note, not to exceed $2 million.
This is our annual request. It's kind of a safety net for us. As things look right now, it'll be really iffy if we get into this line of credit at all. We still have $2.9 million in the bank. That basically needs to cover 3 more payrolls or a month and a half. We've been running over $2 million a month for expenses, so it'll be close. But the interest rate on this is a full percent higher than it was last year, but that really doesn't concern me because I think we'll be borrowing at most some money for maybe 2 weeks. So it's not going to be like a huge interest. But we need to have the safety net.
So we'll need a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution for the promissory note, not to exceed $2 million.
Second.
Is there any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Now we need a motion to approve the 2018-2019 budget, which we finally got the numbers for on Monday.
Yep, well, along with the tax levy, then we can finally approve the final numbers in the budget. In front of you is basically a 2-column report, one that says the annual meeting budget, one that says the final budget. I can give you a few noteworthy things since the annual meeting. Already, like I mentioned, the tax levy will go down a bit. The open enrollment roster is in there. At the time of the annual meeting, we used the maximum roster of all the applications. Now we use just the maximum roster of all the students actually participating. So both the expenditure and the revenue go down in that regard. State aid again went up nearly $200,000 for equalized aid, which brought down our levy. We were able to add some state grants since then for about $25,000. The computer aid portion of our revenue limit also grew by about $45,000. Now it's not only computer aid, but it's also personal property, exempt personal property aid. So the state is paying $45,000 item number for exempt personal property. There's some minor adjustments on some of the grants, but overall, the revenues increased by about $50,000, $51,000 since the annual meeting. On the expense side, we had actually more dollars in salary, less dollars in benefit, but they kind of almost more or less even out. There's a few slight adjustments for some grant things and things we redirected, I guess. Again, in line 382, you'll see the decline in open enrollment out expenditures. In line 387, you'll see the increase in voucher students. So, and those will be the 2 major expense adjustments. Supplies, equipment, all running very similar to what we had. So overall, we went from a $113,000 deficit at the end of the year to basically $102,500.
So we need a motion?
I make a motion we approve the 2018-2019 budget.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you for all your work, John.
Yeah, thank you, John.
One of our tasks is, as the school board members, is to kind of look at this stuff on behalf of the community, and I think it's important that the community understand the excellent budget management that comes out of the administration here, John, and really the whole team. That year after year, you keep us where we need to be, and I think that's a credit to the leadership of this district, but I think it's really important for our community to understand it in those terms.
Absolutely.
And thank you again, John. Okay, we need to have a motion to approve the snowplow bid for 2018 and 2019. John, again on this?
Sure. As discussed in the committee, the board received 2 bids for snow plowing, one from CNS Construction and another bidder. CNS Construction, who has been our plower for the last 3 years, has basically more or less the same prices that they've been quoting and is the low bidder. And we recommended that we continue with CNS Construction.
Okay, need a motion.
Move that we approve the bid for CNS Construction. Second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. And then facility subcommittee updates.
So facilities, it's going to all begin real soon here. In the coming week, construction should begin. Communication will come from Jamie and Dr. Rauscher as to where we go, where we move around as the work begins in the multi-purpose area. There'll be staging of equipment, there'll be staging of supplies. So safety will be the top concern of everyone here in the school district. And the communication is very important that family and students pay attention to the communication that does come out so this can all go very, very smoothly. In addition to that, the planning stages in the elementary schools, that's beginning. And there was, well, I guess the good news was that on the initial bids, the beginning of the construction, they are at or actually a little below what we anticipated. So it's a great place to start. There will be more contracts let later on, so we'll see how it all balances out. But to begin with, the opening bid was very, very successful for us. And that's my update. Do you want to add anything?
No, that was very well done.
Thank you.
Then we have a date for groundbreaking,
Yep, the 22nd.
the 22nd. Okay.
Beginning.
Do we get to put you on a backhoe?
No.
I thought I'd ask that question.
No.
Okay.
She wears it home.
And a shovel.
Nobody signed up for a period of public participation. We go from board liaison, community ed. Sally.
I did miss the last meeting, but there's always lots going on at Community Ed. Right now, for the whole community is One Book, One Community. The book that is being read this year is called The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. If you're interested, call Community Ed, see if they have any books left, and join in on the discussions that will be posted or is posted on their website as to when they will be discussed. Also at the high school, they will be having a car inspection for seniors. It's for 60-year-old and up or people that are disabled. You do need to register, so you need to call the Plymouth Police Department to register for this. It will be Wednesday, October 24th. Also, over at Riverview, they have a disc golf. It is open to the public, so you can go use it when the children are not out there in session. The classes that Community Ed is going to be offering, one is called Sweetgrass Basketry. So making a basket out of sweetgrass. Another one is broom making. And when I read that, I'm just like, wow. Okay, let's come back, and see what our great-grandparents used to do. That would be fun. Also, making yogurt and kombucha. They also have lap swim for people that like to be energetic. Playgroups for the little ones, that is still going on. It will be from November 2nd through December 21st at the Youth Center from 9:30 to 11, so moms and young kids can get out. A class is called Beginning Felting. They also have babysitting clinics for kids in grades 5 through 8. This begins next week, so if you're interested, get signed up by Friday. It will be a 2-week session or 2-day session. And then for the little preschoolers, they have tumbling available. That will be Friday, October 19th. I may have written something down wrong. Maybe it's through November 16th, something like that. And this is for preschoolers, grades 3 through 5. Anything you'd like to add, Kathy?
Thank you. No, I think that's a great summary.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay. Any questions?
What is sweetgrass?
I do not know the type of grass.
Non-bitter grass.
Right, non-bitter. It's probably what the cows like to eat out in the fields. I'm not sure what actual sweetgrass is, but they talked about in the explanation under community ed, it talks about you can actually smell that it's kind of like a sweet flavor instead of a bitter smell that it has. You ought to take it and come back and let us know.
Bring a report back.
Yes, yes.
I'd like to just add, I am reading the community book book, and it's an outstanding book. It's really, really well written, very interesting perspective from, and the way he tells his story is very
Yeah,
interesting.
I read
And
it
think,
many
Kathy,
years
we're
ago.
having a movie
Yes.
that's going to correspond with
Yeah.
the book?
It's all on our website, and actually it's on the libraries, because we, of course, this is a collaboration through the community. So the 4 events that are happening is we're showing, our goal, first of all, is to get an awareness of what was going on during this time, so during the Vietnam War time. So the book is certainly about what's going on in Vietnam. But we're starting off showing the film The War at Home, which is about the protests that happened in Madison, Wisconsin. So that is on Wednesday, the
6th, I think.
6th. Excellent. And then on that Thursday evening, we have a book discussion led by Ken Risto and Bill Rischel, who are leading a book discussion on the book. We have another book discussion the following Monday that's at the library. And then we have a panel discussion in this room, no, it's at the Hub, on Wednesday night with Father Phil, who's up at SJB, who served in Vietnam, with Alan Knoll, who was just, he's just the newest, one of the newest in our Alumni Hall of Fame. He is like a lone survivor from a helicopter crash during Vietnam. And Alan is working on one more panelist. But our goal is just to have, first of all, we really want to get our veterans involved in here, and we want to let all these folks know that we really appreciate them, knowing that it was a really tough, a tough gig and tough to come back. But then just to kind of get a feel for what it was like happening here and there, and have some real candid discussion on all of it. So that's our goal this year. Yeah. And our high school kids read that book in Brad Fike's freshman class. So we're reaching out to some of our kids to be involved as well. Not the freshmen, because they read it, but more of the, those who have read it in the past. Many of our kids see it and said, that's one of my favorite books. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just started it this week also.
It's written from the perspective of someone that was there. It's not a
Right.
history book.
Correct.
I mean,
It's
it's not
fiction.
written as a history
Yeah.
book. It is written as a personal experience
Right.
of someone who's there and tells other people's stories as well. So it's very interesting and good to read.
Good.
Nice.
I really like that we can engage the students themselves. And so that's excellent.
So we have the foundation, Bob.
Foundation, so not only will the community book read have all those great things going on that week, but at the end of that week, November 9th,
Yes.
is Party with a Purpose. So go out and buy your tickets.
Yes.
It should be a great evening. There'll be a silent auction. There'll be all kinds of just fun things for people to do, and a live auction as well. And you know, it's all for a good cause. It's to raise more money for particularly the grant program in the foundation, and that's really a key pillar of the foundation, in which we give money to teachers who apply with ideas to enhance the learning opportunities for our students. So the foundation, we fund the scholarships as well that we give to the individual students, but this is a real impact item that touches a lot more students through the grants, and a big piece of that is Party with a Purpose. So I encourage you all to buy your tickets, to come out, have fun, and give a gift to the foundation.
And also at the Party with a Purpose, what we do is we award the Spirit of Innovation Award.
we do.
And the reason I tried to contact you today was to let you know that you can announce that this evening.
I can.
You can, so I thought you might want the privilege of doing
I
that.
don't think I have the name.
Oh, so the Spirit of Innovation Award was awarded to Laura Cable.
That's right, that's
Yeah,
right.
world language teacher here at the high school. So
So-
we're very excited about that. She's very excited and honored.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Good God.
yeah, so,
Good.
awesome. Kept missing you and tried to.
sorry.
No, it's all right.
I
That's
did
good.
call you back.
I know, it's just, but how awesome for
Thanks.
Laura.
Yes,
Mhm,
that is
yes.
awesome.
And it is being held at the Wade House. The new Wade House, which
This
is
is the old, yeah.
well, the-
You wouldn't want to go to the old one.
the new building.
Well, you could
It's-
go to the old one, but
It's,
it's sweet. There'll be,
it's a very casual event, so it's where your,
it's a lot of fun.
your spirit wear, Panther wear, it's a lot of fun.
Yes,
Okay,
Attend, please.
buy your ticket.
now, Family Resource Center, Jamie.
Okay. Things going on at the Family Resource Center. We're not meeting till the end of the week, but I'm just going to update you on a few of the new things. Of course, you can find all this information on familyresourcesheboygan.org. Little Learners, of course, is still going on. The next time is October 17th, which I guess is tomorrow, from 10 to 11. An interesting little thing, Kids in the Kitchen. That's a program where you get to include your kids in cooking and coming up with interesting things for dinner and involving them in cooking in the kitchen. That's November 6th. It's from 5:30 until 7. It'll be here at the high school in room C105. I assume that's one of the cooking classrooms. It is $5 per child, and they'd like you to sign up by October 31st. Little Movers is on November 14th. That's a little bit more active for the 2.5 to 4-year-olds. And then I know this might sound early to talk about this, but Breakfast with Santa, December 1st. That will be from 8 until 1. It'll be at Generations. They've got a varying charging or fee structure. 2 and under are free, 3 to 11 are $3, adults are $5. They're going to have pancakes, sausage, applesauce, cheese sticks, beverage. You can buy your tickets at the door. So that is a fun thing to look forward to, and believe it or not, it's not that far away. Literacy Council, again, if you're interested in becoming a tutor or you know someone who would like to be a student, you can find the information on the website. And something that I didn't realize we were doing, of course, this is a nonprofit, but there's a program called Amazon Smile, where basically if you go through anything on Amazon, what you buy that's a qualifying expense, they'll donate 0.5% back to your organization. And you can sign up for that and have the Family Resource Center as being the recipient of that benefit, which, as much as we all shop on Amazon these days, that could really be a huge windfall for the Family Resource Center. And all those dollars go right back to families in the community, Sheboygan County, as well as for tutors and all the other good things that it does.
So how do you go about doing that?
If you go on the website, it does have, it kind of talks you through
Amazon Smile.
Amazon Smile.
There's a little icon, right?
There's a little, it says, click here for Amazon Smile, and then you go through and you choose the organization you want. And then later on, when you want to, when you buy something else on Amazon, you have to go through the Amazon Smile, I guess, sign in. You must begin at Amazon Smile, or www.smile.amazon.com, and then it automatically gives 0.5% to your charity.
It's really very easy. We use that at church, and it's just a matter of one click, and then the shopping that you would do anyways. The school will get a check, and probably quarterly, I think it comes out. So it's really very easy.
And I'm not sure what qualifies as a qualified purchase. I'm sure there might have some restrictions, but I would imagine most of the things you purchase.
I think it's anything that you purchased through.
So it's 0.5%. Could make a huge difference. That's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. Professional Development Council, Richard.
At their meeting last week, they talked both about the previous professional development day that they had in September, as well as the one that's coming up here in October. And as I look at the various subjects that were discussed, the thing that I see is alignment here in the district, and primarily around two areas of development. Is our teachers, our professional staff is working at becoming their very best. The two areas are literacy and then math, learning to utilize the math resource that the district has adopted, and then in all areas, developing our literacy area, and particularly at Riverview, they're using literacy in all content areas. So if you're doing something with science, that science teacher is having somehow the students also do it in a manner that they're gaining vocabulary, or I suppose learning to write. I don't know exactly what it is, but so it's not just in the language arts areas. It's throughout the whole, and they're learning how to become better at that and how to make it happen. And so I see that type of alignment. And then the whole district is working together on some trauma-informed care and nonviolent crisis intervention, which goes to some of the issues that we've discussed about concerns for mental health and student behavior, and some of the things that we have talked about even moving forward. Well, they're training the whole district in some of that stuff. So good stuff is happening there, and our staff is committed to being their very best.
Thank you, Richard. Personnel and support staff updates.
Yep.
Carrie.
Tonight, we only have a support staff update. Actually, no teachers for get the year going, and so no contracts that we have to approve. So Margie Hoban, Special Education Aide, has submitted her resignation. Kay Magnus, Special Education Aide at Plymouth High School, has submitted her resignation. Shannon Mendenhall has been hired as a server cook at Horizon Elementary School. Holly Robinson has been hired as a server cook at Parkview Elementary School. And Rose Lensmeyer has been hired as a server cook at Fairview Elementary School. And that's our update.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie. We had nothing on the consent agenda. The President's report, well, this is October, and the next time we meet,
The travel.
oh, I'm sorry, the travel expenses, yep. Travel, I'm sorry, consider
Yep.
request, go ahead, Carrie.
Yep, tonight we are considering a request from Todd Williams, Plymouth High School business teacher, to travel with students to Chicago on November 2nd and 3rd, 2018 for the FBLA National Fall Leadership Conference. This request is consistent with the guidelines in the board policy, and expenses will be the responsibility of the students and their parents.
Okay, we need a motion.
I move that we approve that trip.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
How many students go?
How many kids?
I think
there was 10.
10.
10? Very good, very good. Sounds good.
Right?
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Well, on the President's report, we were going to follow up on the legislative breakfast, the discussions on the safety grants that we were getting, and the requirements that we have for teacher education. At this time, do we know what the requirements are going to be?
For the grant?
Yeah, for the
Yep,
grant.
Yep, and actually, that's part of what Richard talked about. We have the trauma-informed care, which we have to educate all of our full-time staff, but we're going to be educating all of our staff. And then also, we did receive the second grant, and with that second grant, we have threat assessment training. So we will have 3 threat assessment teams, one at the high school, one at the middle school, and then one at the elementary school. And it's training on threat assessment, how to identify. And also with those teams, we have members from the police department actually had to send Chief Tauschik actually was very helpful, and he sent a letter saying that he is willing to commit someone from his team to be able to sit on those teams here in our district. So it's a long journey, but we're going to get there, and we're excited to be moving forward. So
Yep, okay, very good. And then I was iPodding the governor's proposal to bring 2/3 spending back up into the public schools in his next budget. And this proposal, he just brought this out today, and he would go back to the time of Tommy Thompson, where the state actually did provide 2/3 of our budget. So this would be very interesting to see and hear on the next debate that he has exactly what his ideas are. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, of course, was the coming up with the trick or treats. We won't be this year again. In October, the children will be out trick or treating, and please be aware of that and be aware of the safety of all kids right now, especially as it's getting darker and darker.
yeah.
So that's the end of the president's report.
How big a step is it to get 2/3?
From my understanding, the money is there, so it depends upon the legislature and to see how we can go. But this is just a proposal that he has, but it seems to be very interesting. He believes that because of the increased employment, the revenue is going to be there because of the taxes that people will pay when they're working, So he believes that money will be there. So that's about all I have on it. I just caught part of it on a podcast that he had mentioned. Okay.
That was today, right?
Yeah, today. Yeah, that was just today. Yep. So
Excellent.
that's all I have now. Superintendent.
All right, so all of our fall sports teams are wrapping up their conference season. You can hear the volleyball game going on. We are hosting the very first WIAA playoff here as we speak, and we will have soccer and swimming this week, and Friday will be the first playoff game for football, and we host that here at Plymouth, so that'll be wonderful. We want to wish all of our teams best of luck in the upcoming playoffs. Really is an exciting time of the year for all of our young students and athletes. So a lot of energy here in the Plymouth School District. And also while we're fall play, Leaving Iowa will be presented from Thursday, November 1st to Sunday, November 4th. And our one-act play actually performs for the first time this Friday at UW Oshkosh. And the name of that play is A Baseball Show. So I hear it's excellent, and I know we're going to do well again. And again, I really do just want to once again just congratulate Laura Cable on receiving the Spirit of Innovation Award. We've had Laura here at our board meeting multiple times with the students who she has brought and sent across this country and world to be able to learn and grow. And it really is a great person and an excellent award for her to be able to do. And her name will be on our plaque right underneath Mark Ryan's. So that's pretty awesome. And then finally, before I do the updates, I just want to, or the calendar, I just want to talk a little bit. There is a organization that's out of Milwaukee but has a presence in Sheboygan, and they're called the Commons, and they actually are an organization that helps future entrepreneurs, and they have reached into the school districts over the last couple of years and offered entrepreneur type of activities for our students to be able to attend. Students have to apply, and then they can be part of these. We've had a few students that have applied over the last couple of years and was able to attend. But in November, the Commons will be running a fast-paced innovation competition specifically for high school students of the Sheboygan area on the 27th of October, at Jake's Cafe in downtown Sheboygan. Motivated and talented high school students from across the region are invited to come together for a day of reimagining the future of Kohler Company, using the latest in technology and creative problem solving. And I want to let you know I received an email from the person who leads the Commons. Dan and I got this from him, and he said that Plymouth students are crushing it. And we already have 6 applying, and that's, I know, so we're really happy. And I want to thank Todd Williams, June Winkle, and our counselors who help our students get involved in these activities and make Plymouth, get Plymouth out there to be a strong presence in these activities. So, great, excellent. And then finally, our calendar, October 19th, this Friday, is a professional development day, so there is no school. November 12th is the next scheduled committee of the whole meeting at 5 p.m. November 20th is the Board of Education meeting at 7 p.m. And November 21st through the 23rd, there is no school because we have our Thanksgiving break. Good, that's all I have.
So, is there any questions? Hearing none, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Awesome. I don't know. I couldn't answer Richard's question. John might have been able to, as far as how far